So, UFC 313 is here. I decided I'm gonna make a video going over the main card predictions. And the reason why I'm only doing the main card is because I don't have that much time. And I'm more interested in it. So, let's just start with the first fight. We got King Green versus Mauricio Ruffy. Honestly, this is a good fight. Green's coming off a brutal loss to Paddy Pimblett. And Ruffy, dude's a fighting nerd. He had a really good performance against Lontop. He had a really good performance against Malarkey. He is making a lot of momentum right now. And honestly, I think this fight is pretty easy to choose. I think Ruffy's a huge favorite right now. But that's not what I'm basing it. I just think Ruffy will win this fight. He's the better striker. And in a 3-round fight, I'd give Ruffy the edge. Although Bobby Green has some good striking. In my opinion, I just don't think Bobby Green is just him anymore. He just doesn't have that, he doesn't have the thing anymore. And I just think Ruffy's striking is a lot better. I think his grappling is actually very underrated. And can you ever bet against a fighting nerd? I don't. I'm not going to bet against a fighting nerd. No. They are all a hype. And I just think that Ruffy's just going to masterclass Green. I could see him getting a knockout. I think this is his day. I think this performance could maybe even get him a ranked fight soon. And I'd love to see that. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Ruffy. I think he has the better striking. I think he's the more powerful striker. And in a 3-round fight, I would give that to Ruffy. If I were to say by how, I'd say Ruffy. I'd give him Green is Bobby Green is a very tough guy, so it's definitely a huge step up in competition. So I'd probably go Ruffy by decision. I think he's gonna dominate King Green. I think he's gonna outstrike him. I think he's gonna land the better shots. I just think Ruffy's style is just really good, especially against a guy like Green. So, yeah. Next, we got Lemos versus Lucindo. Honestly, Lucindo's last fight didn't really impress me that much. And I thought it was a pretty close fight. I don't remember who she fought, but she did. It was a close fight. And to go to a huge jump up an opponent, it's definitely gonna test her. But I'll take Lucindo over this. Lucindo has the superior grappling. I think she's the faster person, and Lemos is kind of on her way down. She's a good fighter herself, but frankly, I don't know. After what I saw in the Jandaroba fight, I kind of have to go with Lucindo on this one. I think Lucindo's just a faster striker. I think she has good grappling. I see her getting an easy decision win over Lemos. Next, we got, finally, a fight that I actually give a fuck about. Jalen Turner versus Ignacio Bahamondes. Man, this is a banger. A banger, bro. This shit making me, fucking nut, bro. Because this is shit so good. It's so fucking good. Thank God for this fight. Both of these guys are oversized lightweights. And frankly, Jalen Turner's kind of on his way down. I don't know. He did good against Moicano, but frankly, I'm going to go with Bahamondes on this. I think Bahamondes is the better striker. He's the more creative striker. He has a lot more tools to give Jalen Turner some problems. And he's on a massive run right now. So, sure, he's actually the underdog in this fight, which is actually pretty surprising, but I think I'm going to take Bahamondes on this one. If I were to say which one, I'd go Bahamondes, maybe round 3 TKO. Let's go with that. Next, we got Justin Gaethje versus Rafael Fiziev. Now, I recorded a video giving my UFC 313 picks a week ago, and I predicted that Justin Gaethje would win against Dan Hooker. Oh no, I predicted Dan Hooker would win against Justin Gaethje because I think Dan Hooker's the better guy. Now we're seeing a rematch that Justin Gaethje did actually win, and it was a very close fight between the two. Obviously, the odds have changed now. Justin Gaethje's now the favorite, which honestly I think makes sense. Rafael Fiziev is coming off an ACL tear. He hasn't fought in almost 2 years, and frankly, he was not. Frankly, he was kind of getting beat by Gamrot, and for him to have this long of a layoff to come off of an ACL injury, especially against a guy who, like Justin Gaethje, whose specialty just happens to be leg kicks, I have to give Justin Gaethje the edge to this one. I think he's going to win this fight. I honestly think this is going to be less close than it was before. This is 3 rounds still. Although Fiziev is honestly the more technical striker, he is the more like I guess you could say his striking style is a good match for him, and I think this is going to be a competitive fight. I just don't trust in Rafael Fiziev, especially in the fact that, well, he's coming off a huge layoff, and a lot of people aren't really the same. So, I'm going to go with Justin Gaethje on this one. I'm going to go with Gaethje by decision. I don't think he's going to knock him out. But there could be a chance he maybe gets a TKO and might accidentally tear that ACL again. And that would suck. I hope that does not happen. Please. I'm not MMA gods. Don't make this happen. Because I don't want that. I like Fiziev as a fighter. I think he actually has the tools to win this fight. I think if he does really good and, I guess negating those leg kicks and, just giving the fight to Justin Gaethje. Just pressure him. Use the kicks against him. Use the body kicks. Just keep walking him down. I feel like that would be a best way for Fiziev to win. But I just think Justin Gaethje is just coming here the more prepared fighter. He's a less injury prone fighter, and those things have an effect. And he also had a full training camp against Dan Hooker, who is who is a pretty good striker, and I just feel like I think Justin Gaethje just has more preparation going into this fight. I don't know how I feel about Rafael Fiziev in this fight, although they did fight before. It's just that it was so long ago, and it's a toss-up. But I'm going to go with Justin Gaethje on this one. I think it's a very reasonable pick. I wouldn't be surprised if Fiziev won this, but I think Justin Gaethje can use those leg kicks really well. It mobilizes movement. With that ACL tear, it's definitely going to make some problems for him. And I just think it ends the same way. I think this is going to be a competitive. I think it might be a close fight, but I'd see Justin Gaethje winning on points just because of the leg kicks and the damage. So winning by damage, I guess. Next, we got pretty much the main event. Well, Alex Pereira versus Magomed Ankalaev. Now, when I last made this video, I was going to originally release it. I said that Alex Pereira would win very easily. I still keep that opinion because of one thing. A lot of people are going into this fight thinking Ankalaev's a wrestler. And I think that's a wrong way to think about this. I've watched a lot of Ankalaev fights. I've watched his fight with Rakic, with Walker, with Smith, with Jan. He doesn't wrestle that much. He doesn't shoot takedowns. If you look at the grappling stats here, I mean, his takedown average is actually kind of low for a Dagestani guy. And he doesn't have the best takedown accuracy. Now, I'm not saying Alex Pereira has the best ground game, but I don't think this is going to be a wrestle fest for 25 minutes. I think this is going to be a kickboxing match. Because Ankalaev's a striker. He's a southpaw, which honestly, a lot of people say that gives Pereira problems. I haven't seen much problems. Alex Pereira does really well going against a southpaw, and the way he leg kicks, and his leg kicks are still pretty good at southpaw because he does really good with the lead kick, and I think it's actually better when it's a southpaw just because he can land those jabs a lot more effectively, and he can almost position his left hook a lot closer. We've seen Khalil and Yuri give Alex Pereira problems. I think Ankalaev is not really like that. A lot of people are comparing him to Roundtree, saying like if Roundtree could drop him, then Ankalaev is going to do worse things to him. Thing is, Ankalaev isn't like Roundtree. Roundtree is actually a good matchup for Pereira, just because Roundtree is a very technical, very explosive striker, and he's also really, really fast. That's what was giving Alex Pereira trouble in the second round. Just the fact that Khalil was just landing those shots, and Pereira couldn't really answer anything back. But obviously, Pereira was able to use the leg kicks effectively. He used the jab to immobilize, and obviously the damage to Khalil was getting to him, and he was able to get a TKO. I don't see this happening with Ankalaev. I think Ankalaev is actually a pretty good matchup for Pereira. Although I don't trust Alex Pereira's grappling, I don't think Ankalaev's grappling is going to be what decides this fight. It's going to be whoever gets the first punch, whoever gets that knockout punch, because both of these guys have knockout power. I think this will be a very technical kickboxing match, and I do see this going. I want to see this going to decision. You know why? Because one thing about Magomed Ankalaev, he's a southpaw guy. Honestly, he's not as good of a striker as a lot of people point him out to be. He's very perceptive he's very weak when it comes to low leg kicks, and Pereira is also special at doing that. And the way Pereira does it, you can't really see. You can't really see it coming because he doesn't telegraph it. He doesn't telegraph those leg kicks. That's why a lot of people have trouble with those leg kicks. Because with a lot of people, like what's name Justin Gaethje. Justin Gaethje telegraphs his leg kicks, and sometimes you can catch them, just like we saw in Charles Oliveira versus Justin Gaethje. You know, but Pereira doesn't telegraph them. He doesn't even move. He barely moves his hips. He just lifts the leg up and kicks it like up diagonally, and it's actually a very genius way of using leg kicks, because although he doesn't put as much power into them, as he keeps doing them, it keeps bothering the leg because it just keeps piling on, and he hits in a way where the guy is pretty much dense as wood. I mean, he's a skinny guy. He got very long legs. He got hard shins because he's a kickboxer. I just think those leg kicks will give Ankalaev some problems, and honestly, because of those leg kicks, I don't think his wrestling is going to be as effective. Now, the reason why Ankalaev was able to wrestle Jan, especially in his title fight, was because Jan was gassed. He couldn't. After the third round, Jan was just clearly gassed, and that was how Ankalaev was able to get those takedowns. I don't see that happening with Pereira. I think Pereira's been working on his grappling for the past year now. He's been training with Glover, who's a very excellent grappler. And even then, it's like people kind of say, oh, Izzy took him down. Izzy did that. Oh, Jan was almost able to submit him. Like, no one has been able to submit him. And I just think that the ground game isn't going to be a factor in this fight. Both of these guys are strikers. Like, if you look at these guys, they both have very good striking stats. And if you look at their grappling, it's like, come on, bro. Ankalaev, he's a good grappler. He's just not a Khabib level grappler. You know, this isn't a Khabib versus Conor situation. This is more of a, what is it? I feel like Ankalaev is more of because he's a beat guy. You know, he has good grappling, but he's really good at striking. He's really good at kicks. But it's kind of the opposite. What I saw in the Rakic fight kind of convinced me that Ankalaev really isn't as hyped up as a lot of people say. I just think that his defense isn't that good when it comes to kicks, when it comes to leg kicks. I think Pereira is going to be able to land those leg kicks a lot easier now that since he's orthodox and Ankalaev southpaw. And I think what's going to happen to Roundtree is going to happen to Ankalaev. I just think that Pereira is just a better striker. He's levels above Ankalaev when it comes to striking. Pereira is a double champion glory, and he was able to stand toe-to-toe with Israel Adesanya, who's one of the best strikers of all time. And he was knocking out Yuri and Jamal Hill, who were also considered the best strikers of their division, easily. And then he knocked out Jamal Hill so bad, people started saying he was shit. When a year earlier, people were saying Jamal Hill was one of the best strikers of all time. People were saying Jamal Hill would knock the hell out of Pereira because he's a really good striker. And then Pereira showed why he's levels above that. I think Ankalaev is going to happen to him. I'm going to go with Alex Pereira. I think this is a good pick. He's the favorite in this fight, and I think that's very deserved. I think Ankalaev is being really carried by his name right now. He's a Dagestani. A lot of people put a lot of emphasis in that. But if this was any other fighter, any other race, people wouldn't be giving this guy credit like he does. But I do think if Ankalaev does use that wrestling, if he initiates that wrestling in the first round, I think I see him having a better chance of lasting, getting a decision. I don't think he's gonna get a decision in a 5-round fight. Pereira, people don't realize the fights always start on the feet. Pereira's the better striker. I think he's gonna land the better hits. Ankalaev is kind of a counter striker. He doesn't really explode. He's not an explosive striker like Yuri and Khalil. And we've seen how Khalil and Yuri gave Pereira troubles. Pereira has trouble with, explosive strikers who have these blitzes and all this stuff. But Ankalaev and Jamal Hill, they're more counter strikers. These are guys that place their shots correctly. And Pereira does really well against those guys. So I'm gonna go with Pereira. If I were to say I'd go with a round 2 KO. I think in the first round he's gonna figure them out. I think Ankalaev is probably gonna shoot for a takedown, and I think Pereira's gonna try to defend it. And then in the second round, I think he's gonna figure him out, hit him with a nice little left hook, or maybe a high head kick, because Ankalaev does have his weakness toward that, and I think he's gonna get a TKO. I think he's going to hurt him bad in that second round and get a TKO. And then Pereira just goes up to heavyweight, because what else is he going to do in light heavyweight? He's already defended against all the people he needs to defend. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Pereira on this one. Although, I wouldn't be surprised if Ankalaev somehow won this. I mean, Ankalaev is definitely still the real deal. He's a good wrestler, good striker. I just think Pereira is just a way better striker. I just don't think that Ankalaev's grappling is really that good to neutralize Pereira. So, I'm really interested to see this fight, man. This is going to be a good one. Starts 10 p.m. Going to Peru tomorrow, actually. So, not tomorrow. Yeah, I'm going to Peru, on Saturday. I'm going to be gone for a week, so I won't be able to upload any videos. I probably won't be active on my Twitter or Instagram either. So, when I come back, though, I'll be definitely watching this fight, though. And I'll let you know about my reaction, A lot of people saying NU. I think there could be. I think Ankalaev is his toughest test yet. But I'm going to go with Pereira. Pereira has been through some very, very tough circumstances. He has been through some tough wars. He has fought the best of the best ever since he's been in the UFC. And I just don't think Ankalaev is so much better than Jan or Izzy or Yuri. I just don't think Ankalaev is really so much different from those guys. He's just a striker like the rest of them. And when you strike with this man, it doesn't end well. Best people have tried striking with him. Only Izzy has been able to knock him out. But that was because of the weight cut. And frankly, it was kind of a Hail Mary shot. But apart from that, when it comes to pure striking, no one in light heavyweight has been able to compete with this man. Khalil was the closest one. And he didn't even as much threaten Pereira in that fight. He knocked him off balance. He hit him with some good shots, but Pereira was able to get that jab going. He hit Khalil hard, and then he TKO'd him brutally. And that was while he had a flu, broken rib, and a broken toe. Now this is full health. This is full camp, full preparation, healthy Pereira. I think a lot of people are seeing that Pereira's not taking him seriously. Okay, you're acting like Pereira is a guy who's just gonna go do all this stuff. It's like people are talking about, he's going to Japan and he's traveling, and it's like, bro, those clips are from months ago when he wasn't training for this fight. But I think a lot of people, I'd say watch out for Ankalaev. I think he's gonna give a good fight. I think he definitely can mix things up with the grappling. So round 2 KO, I feel like is a bit too harsh on Ankalaev. I'm gonna go with round 4 TKO. I think Ankalaev is gonna gas out, and I think the leg kicks are gonna get to him. But if it does result in round 2 KO, I gotta give him that. You gotta give me that. I just think Pereira's just a better striker. He has the longer reach, and frankly, I just don't think the grappling is going to make a difference in this fight. Ankalaev's not going to go grapple him like Khabib. He's going to strike with him. And if not, Alex Pereira has some underrated grappling. He was able to defend a lot of chokes from Jan, who's actually a pretty good grappler himself, so we'll see.